What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the No Matter What podcast. My name is Sina.
And I'm Rafa.
Hi, I'm Irene. I don't know where to look.
Just look wherever you want.
Okay.
So what's going on, Irene? How was your day?
It was good. The drive up here was atrocious, per usual though. The drive from Orange County always sucks out this way, but it was all right.
Especially at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how was obviously no matter what's this podcast, what is I gotta give it the plug, man.
Season 1, episode 1.
No, I usually do say that, but I wasn't because this is season 2, episode 1. Got the plug for you. Tell us about your life in treatment or in recovery.
Did it. Life in recovery has been, I'm super fortunate. I always like to kind of preface with that. Like, I discovered abstinence from drugs and like a 12-step fellowship rather young in my life. I was 17 years old. So super lucky in that regard. You know, it's been a challenging, discovery-filled process. Like, every time I think I have something figured out, new information is presented about myself, and I'm like, doggone it, I didn't know a thing.
So that's good you said that, 17, because there's a lot of addicts now that are very young.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we were all young, but so when did you first start taking recovery serious, where you started going to meetings and doing all that?
Immediately. I got into, like I told you, a 12-step fellowship, 17 years old, immediately identified with that fellowship, started doing what was required of me in that space, usually it suggested sponsorship, meeting attendance, step work, so before I had graduated high school, I was on a 4th step, still literally a child, taking it rather seriously. Even at that age, I knew that I was not like the other kids, other 16 and 17-year-olds didn't choose to be homeless on purpose. Like, they didn't pick drugs over their family. They didn't steal their siblings' sneakers to sell for money, right? Like, I knew that I was not like the other 17-year-olds out there, And so when I had found this, my mom actually had found this space and was like, hey, come on over. It was one of the first times like I had ever felt understood, to some degree, right? There was a lot of differences at first, like you said, like we were all young at one point. When I had first gotten into recovery, there was not a lot of young people. There was a lot of old people. It was 2010. It was 2010 when I had first started attending meetings, and there was like there was a couple of people like in there. And it's funny that I am calling them old, but there was probably people my age now that even as a teenager, I looked at as old. Yeah. And so I'm old, man. I'm in the sauce. I got gray hair. I got gray hair, man. I got like 3 of them.
That's okay.
I got like 3 of them right up here. But it was, it's nice now. I get excited when I see like young people.
So what brought you into the roots?
I did not come by choice. Let's preface with that, I guess. Like, I was literally kidnapped, if you will, into being abstinent at first. My mom, she had gotten arrested and they told her, you're going to face time or you can take a program, and she was like, hey, I'll take a program, and so she had found the fellowship first, and very shortly after, I don't know if somebody gave her an idea or if she just took it upon herself, she went and came and got me from the park I was living in. I was living in with my dad in San Bernardino, and I always used to say, like, he kicked me out. He didn't kick me out. Like, he said, you can't do drugs here. And I was like, well, I'm leaving. And like, I decided to be homeless, and like I lived in a park not far from my house. And she just came and got me, kidnapped me, threw me in my grandma's little back room and was like, we're going to start going to meetings. And we did. That was like my introduction, so like, it wasn't like well, I'm going to walk in, like it was very much so, you're coming, let's go. And like, I'm grateful it happened that way.
Do you think, looking at it now, of like your decision to be homeless with like an insanity part?
Absolutely. And it's so crazy because in my mind, right? Like in my mind, he really said to me, you can't live here. It wasn't, you have to stop doing drugs. It was, you cannot live here because I was already insane, right? Like again, 16, 17 years old, there's pieces of my brain that haven't even developed fully. And I'm a full-blown drug addict, full-blown, like losing my mind, you know? And so like, there was definitely like pieces of me that I already knew, like, this moral and internal struggle. Like there would be a piece of me that'd be like, God, don't do this. And then I'd be like, well, I'm leaving. Because yes, I was crazy.
Sure.
I was crazy. I was absolutely insane, you know? Even, it's so funny, right? Like the way that we talk about our maladies and like the dis-ease within our spirit, like the knowing, right? Having this very logical and aware piece of myself that was like, you should not be doing this, but still doing it anyway. Like making the active decision to like throw my life away anyway for a substance. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
So I know you're like you said you were full blown and you said you're a senior and you were already in your fourth step.
Mhm.
That's already unheard of because
That's
just the
crazy.
fact of you're so young and you were just like willy nilly. I'm gonna get in my fourth step. I'm gonna do my steps. At what point did you start saying, "This ain't for me"?
It's how long do we have on the podcast?
Yeah, we got time.
It happened in like, it was not, I wanted it. I wanted
And the reason I'm
abstinence to be
asking
good.
that is because obviously initially, I mean, I did not, I mean, I was court ordered
Mhm.
every time.
Mhm.
So the court forced me to go,
Mhm.
right? And you say you're kidnapped to go, and then you
Mhm.
were like, oh, okay, I like this, it
Mhm.
seems like. And then you're like, bam, I'm gonna start doing it.
Mhm.
And then it starts fading away, right? And
Mhm.
you're like, oh no,
Mhm.
I want to go back to that other way. But
Mhm.
for a lot of other people, it's the opposite,
Mhm.
right? I don't want to do this. Like it took me forever to work steps,
Yeah.
right? It took
Yeah.
me forever to
Yeah.
work steps. At what point was it for you like, yeah, okay, this is not for me?
I don't, it's so hard to like pinpoint the moment because even going all in to like abstinence and recovery and then the opposite, like completely leaving, right? Like that being part of my story, completely chasing normalcy. It was never like, it was more like a water leak. Like the pipe snapped and then like the trickle down
By little.
created the damage, right? I always know what, I can't always explain like the defining moment, right? Like where the snap probably started. I can probably always assess when it was me wanting to be all in, like in recovery and like things like that. It was when I had started my fourth step. And the way I had done one of my first fourth steps was like a timeline of my feelings, like all these big feelings, like my sponsor had me write down. And I remember one of them vividly remembering panhandling in front of a Burger King in front of my high school and feeling like that just disgust, like that embarrassment, that like, oh my gosh, I'm in fourth period with these people in another life, but like, can you give me your change? That was like the moment that like, I have to do this because like, I'll never, ever, ever go back to that. And then I remember the moment of like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go be normal. That moment was over a partner. Not losing this relationship was more important to me in that moment than what I understand today as continuously saving my life. I thought that like, oh, I had done enough work. Like, I'm okay. Like, I know enough, right? I've been doing this long enough. Maybe if I just take this large step away and like try to be normal, you know, like it'll be okay. And that less meeting attendance, less sponsees, right?
That leak started getting bigger,
The leak
bigger,
just
and
trickled
bigger.
down, right? Lying about the clean time, you know, like.
You saying that, and I was like, because I too, I did not. I took a dirty year and the dirty 18 months. So it's like, yeah, it just trickles down, and then it just snaps. You know.
My first sponsor, she used to say two things. She used to say, you live the lie long enough, you become the lie. And like, that's so intricately part of my story, even from the beginning, right? Like, my dad kicked me out. That's not what happened, right? But like, I believed that lie long enough that like, it became true, you know? And like, she always used to say that you never know you smell like shit while you're in it. Like, you don't know you're in the shit until you're out, and you can be like, yuck, what was I doing? You know? And like, those are just two things that consistently, every time I think that like, I got it figured out, I smell like shit. I smell like shit.
I mean, it's the process, right? I mean, so how was it when you started fading out, right? What was it that brought you back?
Gosh, I was dying. So like, it wasn't I gotta tell
But it's
you.
crazy because with the time that we got,
Yeah.
we could see that now, right?
Yeah.
But and then like for the viewers that don't, and they're just probably just sitting and they're like, no, I'm good, and it's like, no, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's how crazy this disease is, that it lies to us in our own voice.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you believe that my dad did kick me out.
Right.
You know?
If I tell myself that enough, he really kicked me out. Yeah.
So you were dying.
Mm-hmm. I was dying. This is the thing. I had spent enough time and had experienced enough of the benefits that like recovery actually has to offer. Not just the physical things, right? Not the social acceptable things, but like the glimmers of peace of mind, the glimmers of sanity, the glimmers of like loving myself. Like, I had experienced those things in my time here previous to leaving, you know? And so being in this space of like utter just dereliction, right? My dad's dead, my mom's dead, everybody's dead. I want to die. Like, the world is locked down. Like, what am I doing? You know, it was the glimmer. You know, it wasn't anything of me. I don't ever want to take credit for the way that like I stumbled back into like abstinence and recovery, right? Like, I don't ever want to be like, well, you know, I woke up one day, because it wasn't me. You know, like, somebody felt brave enough to coax me to a meeting, lying about taking me to In-N-Out instead. And they got me. I ended up at a meeting, you know, I identified as a newcomer. Again, don't know how it happened, but it happened. And like, it just kind of started from there. I didn't want to die. Like, before I had left the fellowship, like, I had never participated in substances that cause you to overdose. Like, I was a crackhead. I was a crackhead running around the streets of San Bernardino barefoot. Like, the worst thing that crack is gonna do to you is make you extra hyper, you know? Like, there wasn't anything that was on the streets at that time that like it was in 2020, you know? And so like when I started participating in these things and like ultimately like overdosing, I was like, yo, this is not okay. Like, I don't want to die, you know? Like, I think I want to die, but like, I don't want to die. And like, again, having that insane conversation with the version of myself that somehow was still logical, but still the piece of me that's like, no, let's get up out of here. This life's too hard. I don't want to do this anymore, you know?
So let me ask you this. When you first came into the rooms, what was your thoughts of it?
The first time or the second time?
First and second. Well, second time too, because like, obviously, you know, and I'm not gonna lie. You know what's crazy? You were, I believe, like my first attraction of like that craziness and that, you know what I mean? Like, like I enjoyed being around you, right? And like, we didn't know each other and like we didn't talk that much, but like that attraction, like it was attraction, you know, that kept me in the rooms, right? Like you mentioned, right? Like, I didn't come into the rooms willingly.
Right.
I came to not do a 15-year joint suspension, to get off of probation. And after I got off of probation, I was going to go out and use. But it was attractive, right? Like, I stuck around and I did what was suggested, and I went to meetings and I fellowshipped, right? And that attraction like took over that disease of like, hey, it's time for you to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you came back the second time, I'm sure you had a bunch of shame, that guilt, that fear, right? Like that disease in your head telling you like, the fuck are these fools? Like, you should go out and run, you know?
Yeah.
So how is that feeling?
me look right in the camera when I say this. When people get loaded and they come back, either shut the fuck up or be kind. I don't care how mad they made you. It's none of your fucking business. If you can't be kind to them, shut your trap.
It's a fucking double clock right there.
Man, it was different, right? Like, as a person who had experienced some clean time in a fellowship, it was different coming back and not experiencing the things that I was taught to give. You know, like when we watch somebody come back, you know, I was taught like we treat them with grace. We open up our arms. We don't shoot our wounded, right? We don't kick them while they're down. Like we offer them resources. We give them a meeting list. And when I came back, it was like, oh my gosh, she has the plague. She's a liar. She's a deceiver. She lied. And like, I believe that I carried a lot of that guilt, right? I'm so grateful for all of the women that have sponsored me, that have picked apart like all of the different layers that were required for me to get where like I needed to get. My first sponsor when I got clean this last time, she said to me, like, you suffer from carrying unrealistic guilt. And she was like, their anger is not yours to bear. She was like, they're allowed to be upset with you for lying, right? They're allowed to be upset because you're a liar, bitch. And I was like, you right, okay. She said, if somebody has the audacity to tell you that they're mad at you for getting loaded, tell them what you must, right? She said something, and it kind of like made this switch go off in my brain, because in the literature that I read out of, like it says that someone not participating in any usage of a drug or something is in an abnormal state of mind. And so I was like, if it was the beginning of a very beautiful, like, unbecoming, a very like deep understanding of myself. It was like that first layer of like getting peeled back of like, Irene is really going to start to understand herself. And like, truly, I stayed out of spite. Y'all not about to run me out of here. Nobody here can fight. So tell me I have to leave.
I love it, because I think, like, I remember my first year, I stayed clean off of resentment, you know, because I remember, you know how they say, look to the person to your left, look to the person in your right, and then one of them is not going to be clean next year, you know. So I remember this guy looking at me and then looking at me like this, like how Sina just looked at me right now, you know, look at me like that, and I could hear him in his head saying, "Oh, this stay clean," you know. So I was like, I'm staying here just because of that. You know, I mean, haters make us famous.
Yeah. I love to take up space, right? Like, it's something that, and it was something that for a long time was taught to me that was like a bad thing. But understanding like myself today, like the people that in my life that love me, they love the amount of space I take up. They love how loud I am. They love how obnoxious I am. When I was taught for so long that like get small, be quiet, be dainty, right? And like, no, man. Like, I believe that like when we become exactly who we're supposed to be, it makes this process so much easier. Like, when I'm no longer pretending that like I'm so perfect and I'm so quiet and mild. No, I am a raunchy ass, cuss you out kind of gal. And like, that's just who I am, right? Like, I have the capacity to be kind. I have the capacity to be empathetic. I have the capacity to be understanding. I am all of those things. It doesn't mean I have to turn off other parts of my personality, you know? Like, I get to be all of these things at one time. And I have spent a lifetime, even from childhood, trying to get myself to fit in this box that somebody else created for me.
I get that. It's just because they always say, go ahead.
I must say, I do love you for who you are. But I will draw the line with these fucking midnight calls that you have with my wife. Like, I'm gonna just draw the line.
You're lying. Okay? You're lying. You love the midnight calls. Listen, Sina's wife sponsors me. And so when she's pregnant or when the kids are tripping, we just all get on the phone together at like 11:30 at night, and we just all spend time together in this double XL king bed till the kids go to sleep. Like, And listen,
That's the gifts of recovery.
That's my family. That's my family. I can go to their house right now, walk up the stairs, and go walk up Marley's stairs and lay at the end of the bed. Like,
yes. Like, and it's crazy. Just like in the beginning, we could have never imagined those gifts.
No, absolutely not.
Right? Like
Absolutely not.
that right there is the gifts. Like the get-togethers. You know, the parties or the functions that we have, and just all of us laughing and clowning. Like, why? That is the gifts. In the beginning, everybody thinks the materialistic things are the gifts.
Right.
But the gifts are really the sanity you're talking about, the peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know, the not worrying.
Yeah.
Is the cop gonna pull me over?
Yeah.
I give two fucks. Well, no, I'm still no. You know, because honestly, dude, look it. I'm still bald.
Different. Yeah.
No, I'm still bald. I'm still tatted. What? And I don't get pulled over as much.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You drive my car.
Well, dude. It's because the way you drive. First of all.
Listen, I live in Orange County. They're pulling us over left and right.
And probably if I go over there.
It's just I do believe that our life today is a huge change from where we were to where we are now. Like I personally wouldn't have imagined, being in this position that I am.
No.
You know what I mean? Like the gratitude, right? Like each and every morning, as much as like I might go through some shit, like I need to have that gratitude that I'm waking up alive and clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I do want to know, right? When you did go out, what was going on in your head? What was like what feelings came up to where you said, fuck this, like I'm gonna go out and use?
It was I had ended up I obviously if you know the story, I lied about my clean time, right? Like I ended up getting loaded with 4.5 years clean. Longest story short, I was getting married, and my office, who did not know I was a member of a 12-step fellowship, took me out for a bachelorette party. And so, trying to save face, social acceptability, right? Like I've never made this amount of money before, you know what I mean? Like I just got my degree, like I'm in the corporate Americas with like the shiny cars and like the double logos. Like I was I'm a kid from Pomona. Like I was homeless in San Bernardino, like I worked in a city that like the kids I grew up with could only dream of being in, like it was, I was way out of my league, man. And so when my boss came around and was like, hey, like a shot for everybody, it was so fast. Like this was so much more important to me than all of that work I had put in. And it's not like I had been doing 4.5 years worth of work. Like it stopped at some point, right? Like it stopped when the relationship became more important than meeting attendance. It stopped when hiding the domestic violence became more important than me telling my sponsor the truth about what was going on, right? And so like the water, it snapped, but this was like the trickle down effect. And like I maintained it for a while. Like I used that one single time and then like didn't use again. But then like he started cheating on me. And my brain was like, the best way to get him to stop cheating on you is like get loaded with him. So then like after 1.5 years, I started regularly using. And when you're regularly using, it's harder to maintain the lie, right? Like I'm not showing up at places, I'm forgetting. Like that was like my telltale thing. Like, oh, I forgot. Like I'm busy. Oh, I have to stay late at work because I'm so smoked out of my mind that like I cannot keep up with my appointments and the things that I said I'm going to do, like. Which is why it is always so important to me today that I consistently always show up when I say I'm going to show up, do the things I say I'm going to do, But that's what happened. And then like my sponsees ended up finding out like I was getting loaded, and like called me on it. And it was super painful, like super heartbreaking, man. And like even in all of that like pain, I still could not tell the truth. I was still so much more worried about what everybody thought of me than like finally coming free, But I will say, and like a lot of people like shame me for it. Like that was the first time, like in my life, in that like 9 years, I had felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Like that was probably the first truth that had poked through in what felt like almost a decade, And at that point, like it was just too hard to come back. Like I'm not coming back and taking a newcomer chip. I'm gonna go be normal. I got it. I got the money.
How was that? How was quote being normal?
Normal was fun for a little bit, as it always is, right? Like normal was cool. Like how was I? I was like 26, 27, right? Like kind of in my prime. And it was fun. The Vegas trips were fun. The San Diego trips were fun, right? The downtown LA trips were fun until it's Tuesday and I need to get well. And everybody around me is like, girl, what's wrong with you? Like, we only drink on the weekends. And I'm like, I need something else, you know? Like, it was all of these people, I completely forgot. They didn't know I was a drug addict. Like, they thought that I was just this composed human being, you know? And like, I had to isolate myself from the people I was pretending for and isolated myself from the people that wanted to save my life. As fuck.
By yourself.
As fuck. And then my dad had the audacity to die. That just up and died on me, man. And like, one of the most fantastic pieces of my personality is the ability to find like the silver lining, right? And like, unfortunately, that phrase that like a diamond is only formed under pressure is genuinely like my life. I need my life to be crumbling and cascading down when I am unwell at that capacity for something to change. Today, it doesn't take that much. I see the sign, I'm like, okay, we're gonna pivot, not gonna do that anymore. But like back then, I was just so convinced that I could fix everything on my own.
No, when the pain is great.
Yeah.
Do some work.
Yeah. Totally convinced that like I got this. I can stop when I want.
Famous words.
I can stop whenever I want.
Famous words.
I could not stop.
So how is life now?
Life now is pretty tight. I got clean a little over 5 years ago.
Let me say something. Clean time does not equal.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
look at the feathers ruffling.
No, because it's true. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Listen, we know this specific individual in these 12-step fellowships mm-hmm. that have like 20 plus years mm-hmm. and you know does whatever they want to their wives or to other women. Like I want no part of that.
No.
So when I say that, like you have a lot of fucking recovery. And I'm not trying to fucking boost your.
His head is big enough already. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like now, right? Like you're back. You're doing what's suggested. You're doing everything for yourself, for your family, mm-hmm. for your child, mm-hmm. right? How is it?
It's cool. I want to backtrack on the first statement you said first, because yes, you're absolutely right. Clean time does not equate to recovery. I make this joke all the time. I'll get loaded right now and still be a better person than half the people I interact with at a certain meeting, right? They don't have to agree with that, but like whatever, you know? I believe that like if we continue to perpetuate the behavior, if we don't protect our community, like if you keep reading throughout the literature that we read, justice is a spiritual principle, solidarity is a spiritual principle, community is a spiritual principle, right? So like when do we stop using the excuse of old behavior for current behavior, right? Like I always like to ask the people, like, how old is your fourth step? How old is your sixth step, right? Like, are you still running on 1992's information? Are you still running on 2006's information? Or are we in 2026 with the rest of us, right? That being said, I have done all that kind of work. And as a result of that, it has granted me the ability to be a very present sponsor, sponsee, mother, partner, friend, sister, right? And like be able to give of myself in all of these capacities at different times in my life. Whereas before, it was all about me, all about saving face, what these people thought about me, how I could get something from them. And like, that's no longer the case, man. Like, something has to change at some point. Like, I don't know. I didn't want to come back here and like do the same shit that I was doing. I didn't want to be as miserable as I always was. I didn't want to sit there. Like, listen, I'm going to keep it a buck because I'm not a liar anymore. I threw a remote at my husband today and like, I immediately called my sponsor and like started crying because like, this is not the behavior I want to perpetuate, right? Like, there is something deep within me that has to be like figured out. Like, that behavior is not okay, right? Like at some point, the behavior has to be rectified, man, or I'm not in the process of recovery. I don't know what everybody else deems as recovery, right? But like I deem recovery as a real active change in my thoughts, my actions, my behavior, you know? And so like consistently staying in that process, consistently trying to be a bigger person, like, or a better person than I was before, you know? Like I don't know if Irene from 5 years is gonna like throw a remote at somebody because she doesn't know how to express herself like a tantrum toddler, but like I know that like Irene 5 years from now might like herself a little more to not have to do something like that, you know?
So I want to touch on back on the putting up the facade. Because that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us do that, right? Like the you not giving two fucks, right? Like again, being bald, still wearing white tees, like that's who I am, right? That's who I like to be. Loud, obnoxious. You know, there's a lot of similarities there, right? So what things did you do to get to a place where you're just okay with that? See, because there's a lot of people that are like, no, I'm gonna, you know, there's a lot of as a wise woman says, there's a lot of fraudulent motherfuckers, right? There's a lot of there's a lot of fraudulent motherfuckers that are in the 12 steps, you know, and they act a certain way and they go home and kick their dog type shit.
Yeah.
So what is it that you did to get to that point?
So I will say this, right? I read a lot, and there is a book that I had read some time ago, and the person said, I think that embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. That the constructs of what is going on in my life stop me from being able to enjoy who I really am right now. And it was one of those things that kind of made my like brain tick a little bit. Like, what stops me from wearing the clothes that I want to wear? What stops me from wearing the shoes that I want to wear? What stops me from trying the color combos or hairstyles that I want to wear? What stops me from saying the things that I want to say? What you think about me. Well, if I just say it and I dabble into being embarrassed and uncomfortable a little bit, you might not have any reaction at all. I am trapped by the constructs of my brain, you know? And like, I think truly, and it's not like anything like prophetic, I truly just stopped giving a fuck what people thought about me when it came to things that made me happy, right? Like, if going to Disneyland makes me happy, I don't care if you think that it's weird. Me and 13-year-old version of me are having a great time, right? Like, however, if I'm throwing my remote at my husband uncontrollably, I care what you think about that. Please tell me. But when it came to matters of like bringing Irene peace and making Irene happy and making Irene feel whole and like accepted and loved by herself, I truly just stopped caring.
A lot of it boils down to, and this is the part where viewers or people are going to be like, what? We have to do work on ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to work on ourselves. Old ways do not open new doors, basically what you're saying.
No, I had to understand myself. And this is why I say like I'm so grateful for like the women that have helped pull apart the layers. I had to understand myself at such a deep capacity to be able to accept myself like this, you know? Like I had said this before and didn't even realize like how important it was to like the process that is my life. Like I have to first understand myself to accept myself so I can love myself. Like, and every single time like I went through a round of steps or got a new sponsor or went through a new life experience, like that's kind of what happened. That's kind of the pattern that took place. Like, oh, I understand this. I accept this now. And like, I kind of love this. This is cool, you know? With every version of me, everything that kind of happens in life, finding silver linings, like that's just kind of my thought process. And even sometimes when I don't understand it, I'm just like, well, it is what it is. I'm going to be okay. And like, I just keep going, you know, like there's just this, I make the joke with my sponsor all the time, like adaptability is my best asset. Like I'll pivot the fuck out of some shit and figure it out. Like, I don't know, that radical and blind belief that everything is going to be okay because it has been this far. I just keep doing the shit I'm supposed to do. That's it.
So touch on for the viewers that are still debating that even want to go or try this 12-step fellowship. Touch on that a little bit. Because obviously initially nobody wants to do this, right?
Right.
I didn't want to do it. Like I said, I just wanted the court off my ass. And like Sina said, I was going to go back to what I thought was the best thing for me, which is insanity. And, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Just like how you thought your dad kicked you out.
Yeah.
It's just like I thought that was my best way of living. Like going back to the block, you know, kicking it in the hood. Like I thought that was what was my destiny, you know? And again, for you at a very young age, yes, you say you're dragged in there, but you saw something that attracted you to that, right? Touch on that a little bit, because a lot of viewers, a lot of young viewers, people that think that they're gonna make it in TikTok and they're gonna be streamers and they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that, you know, and they're like, no, it's like I want them to understand that there is a life in the 12 steps.
There is. I know. I love that, like, a lot of celebrities, and listen, like, no endorsements, right? But like, I love that there are a lot of people who are far more in the public eye that are starting to live a life of abstinence, right? That are people that are on the TV that are saying like getting clean is cool, getting sober is cool, right? Like I love that, right? Because you're absolutely correct, you know. For me, right? I don't want to be 40 years old at the club every night, still looking on a prowl, eyelashes on. Could you imagine being like 45, your liver's giving out because you just keep drinking adios every weekend? Like, could you, I don't know, man. Like, and maybe it was because I had the introduction early and I heard somebody say like, give us a year of your time. And if you don't want to stay, we'll pay for your first bag. And I don't know, I gave it a year of my time, you know, and it made a difference. And I don't know. That's just always the challenge I've thought. Like, let me do this for a year. Let me do this for a year. And I think that's how it was the second time I came back. Like, if I could just stay here for a year and like get my life together again, I'll be all right. And somewhere along the way, like I fell in love with it, right? Because don't get me wrong, I need other stuff too. Like your girl is sicky in here, but a 12-step fellowship for me is the thing that ties everything together, that allows me to use this and use this and use all of these different things that I know about myself with my interactions in the world, and really take like a look at it with a magnifying glass and decide what I want to keep and what I want to discard to make me me. Like I spent a lot of time in this body wanting to get out of it. It took a lot of work to be comfortable just sitting in it. And I can only attribute that to a 12-step fellowship. I've tried countless other things, religion, just therapy, just medication, you know. I need a severe cocktail of everything in order to stay well, man. But like I said, the glue that holds it together is the 12-step fellowship, is the identification that like I'm not the only person that has these problems. It's the ability to say, hey, I threw a remote at my husband's forehead and like nobody calls the cops on me, right? Like, you know, like it's that's the 12-step fellowship. And you know, like both my parents are dead, and like we talked about it earlier on, like these are the people that have become my family. I've been here half of my life now. Half of my life I have been a 12-step fellowship member, you know? Like I've known these people, a lot of these people that like I love with my heart for over a decade, you know? And like when you plant yourself somewhere and you allow people to water you, like you'll grow. Like why would I uproot myself from somewhere that like I'm watered so well?
I'm beyond grateful for you. Like I can't say this enough. I am beyond grateful for you. You are an individual that I can, rely on. I could trust you. I don't know. Like I'm grateful that you came back. I'm grateful that you are someone that I can call my sister. You know what I mean? Like without a hesitation.
Easy.
Like I could call you and you'll suit up and show up. You know, and yeah, I'm beyond grateful.
'Cause I came back.
Yeah. And listen, like you know, I have this mentality of like I don't know what the fuck would have happened if I didn't go out, right? But I do know that the life that I have today is 1,000 times better. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if I got clean when I first went into treatment, I'd probably have 26 fucking years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd probably have 26 fucking years, but I wouldn't know you.
Nope.
I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know my wife. I probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever happened,
it had to happen on purpose, the exact way that it had to happen. Yeah.
like 100% yes, right? Like, I don't know where I would be if I never got into drugs, but I know the life that I have today is an amazing fucking life.
Yeah.
An amazing fucking life that I can never, ever, ever talk bad about. Like, we might have our hiccups, we might have our fucking shitty fucking.
You sound real fucking ungrateful right now.
100% because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It is 100% the fucking truth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's just how it is. That's reality.
It is.
Right? Like,
it is.
like, but whatever happened that brought us to this fucking position, like, it's I'm okay with.
I always ruffle the feathers when I put so much emphasis on being so grateful for my relapse. A lot of people like don't understand it, but like I had to like get loaded and like get my ass whooped and come in here blown out, crawling back in, and in order to experience life the way I experienced life, like I would have never, ever been able to fathom that this is where I'd be,
You know what the scary part about that is now? And no, I agree 100%. But the scary thing about it now is that with what's out there now, I know this was like a saying in the rooms, like you're one hit away.
Yeah.
But now
you're literally
people are literally
you're one open bag of dust away. Yes.
From not coming back.
It's so
And
far.
I agree with both of you guys because my relapse definitely.
That is not advocacy to go out and relapse because when I was getting loaded,
No, that's why I just wanted to say because of course for our three, yes, our stories, yes, our relapse brought on a more rigorous, part in our recovery.
Well, that's what happened. I didn't realize, I started taking pain pills. My poor grandma, I'm sorry, grandma, but I took some Percocets from my grandma, Yeah. Took some Percocets from my grandma after my dad died because I was like, heck, I feel so bad, and long story short, like I ended up coming across like fent press perks and like they didn't have stuff like that when I was a crackhead, it was exactly, you take one hit and that's it, and like that's enough for me. I was like, I'm okay, coming from being able to feel, and that's the thing, right? I'm always chasing this idea of like control. I can't control this shit. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to die.
You know what? It's such a powerful thing when we just let go. There's that saying, let go and let God. Like, here you go.
Take it.
I'll ride shotgun. Call me a passenger princess. I don't give a fuck. I will ride shotgun. You drive the fucking car. I am good. Like, it's such a powerful thing to just let go. And that's one thing that honestly, like, I hold on to. I was just talking to somebody today about it, like, just having faith that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out.
That's so. I have a hilarious let it go story about the baby. I was on a third step, and people will call that the like let it go step, right? Like the turn it over step. And we like had a couple of miscarriages. I was in the doctor, like getting injections every now and then. Trying to have a kid, and it was rough. And I remember having this conversation with my sponsor about it, and like didn't really like her answer, but like she was right. Like it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. Who do I think I am? And I remember like going to the beach and like meeting up with a potential sponsee, and I'm at this beach and like I'm listening to these kids, and like the ball goes in the water and like the kid goes chasing after the water and the mom's like, let that shit go. And I'm like, oh, that was oddly specific, right? And it gets cold and I like walk into this store and there's like this hoodie on top and it literally says, let that shit go, with like a deity on it, right? And I was like, that's so weird, right? And like I go and I spend time with the water, and like my parents are dead, and like I be talking to my parents. I'm a crazy person, and I'm like I'm sitting there, I'm watching the sunset, and I just had this moment of like deep gratitude for like all of the things my parents taught me, the personality they gave me, the things I believe in, my morals, my values, like my advocacy habits, right? Like I learned all of those things from my parents. And like, I just remember having this, damn, life's all right. Life's all right. Like, whatever fucking happens, happens, man. I found out I was pregnant 2 days later. Had our son 9 months later, you know?
Let go and let God.
Let go. It was such a hilarious experience, you know? Like, it was literally like, I was so, like, you know, every time my sponsor got hella kids, which means Sina has hella kids. Every time, you know, like, we end up on the phone in the middle of the night, like, right? And like, that's exactly what happened. Like, I sent her, it was just the positive test, and she was like, do you have COVID? And then called me and was like, what? And it was just this magical experience. And it was literally, and it happens to me like that every time when I finally just go, I can't do this anymore. The universe goes, I got it now. Thanks.
I'm gonna wrap it up after this, but I was hearing a speaker share somewhere, and that's basically what he said. Whenever I just let go, the universe just tells me, I got you. You know, and that's the magical thing about this thing that we call recovery, that we don't know how it works. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we just trust it, trust the process. You know, let go and let God, and there you go. Bam, pregnant.
That's it.
No, there you go.
Quit at me, because that's too many kids already, bro.
All right, so the name of this podcast, we always wrap it up with this one. All right, so I'm gonna hit you with the hard one here. The name of this podcast is No Matter What. What does no matter what mean to you?
No, used to mean something different, right? Used to mean something different. Used to mean they're about to be mad. It means that I get to stay true to myself no matter what. Sometimes that's not an easy thing to do, right? Standing in my identity and in my own authenticity, no matter what. You know, that for me, and that may not work for everybody, right? Like, going with the crowd and blending in may work best for people, but for my recovery, my sanity, my process, I have to be true to myself, no matter what.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, it's an honor and privilege to have you on this podcast. I love you so much, dearly. I can't say this enough. Like, you mean the world to me. You know, Michael, and
Hi,
the whole
Michael.
family just like mean the world to me, right? For the listeners, if you or your loved one are struggling, there are links down below. If you do not want to contact those links, you are more than welcome to leave a comment, and one of us will get back to you. Peace and love.